If you've heard the word metabolism completely thrown around, you really don't know what it means, you don't know what it entails, you don't know what affects it, and all you really hear about is boosting your metabolism. In this video, we're actually going to talk about what that actually means and the symptoms you may have that indicate a slow metabolism. So keep watching. First, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me tell you about the symptoms that show you might have slow metabolism. So these are things that might be like weight gain, trouble losing weight, sluggish energy, having brittle nails, dry skin, constipation, hair loss, brain fog, always cold. Is that you? Because you actually might want to keep listening, and helping and supporting your metabolism is something that should be right up your alley. So the first thing that helps support your metabolism is actually eating enough. And I know in this day and age where we just want to restrict, and take away calories, and that's how you lose weight. In this case, it actually can decrease your metabolism. And when it decreases, it actually can stay decreased, even if you're like, okay, never mind, I won't restrict anymore. I've restricted for 5 months. Let me go back to eating normal. Well, it's a slow process on getting your metabolism back up. So you have to have patience here. So don't assume that the next week you're going to eat enough and eat good. Your metabolism won't just bounce back. You have to be patient and just make sure that you're eating enough. Now, what eating enough is to you is very customized. So make sure that you're working with a nutritionist and dietitian, get those numbers. If you're that type of person, or just the guidance of, hey, this is what a beautiful setup day looks like. If you don't want to obsess over numbers, because you do not have to, but it is a really awesome tool to use. So as much as we want to jump into intuitive eating and just listen to our hunger cues, some people's body may not be in that part to even understand that right now. A lot of women that come to our practice aren't ready for that. We can work into that, but they aren't ready. They have so many imbalances and their body's just giving them wrong cues. And I know many women who are like, I go by my hunger cues and I swear I'm not hungry throughout the day. I eat this, this, and this. And when we actually look at it, it's counting to like 800 calories, which is way too low. So that 800 calories is not going to fuel your body, and therefore your resting metabolic rate is going to go down. Your resting metabolic rate, also known as like RMR, a lot of times people interchangeably use BMR, the basal metabolic rate, and that calorie restriction can decrease your metabolic rate by 20%. So please, please eat enough, please. Moving on to number 2, we have building muscle. Muscle is a very metabolically active tissue compared to fat. Fat doesn't take a lot to be on the body, but muscle does. So when you build muscle, you boost your metabolism because it takes your body more energy to go about the next day. So walking downstairs into the kitchen, day 1 could have, only taken you this much energy. But let's say you work out 3 months later, going down the stairs to the kitchen would take you naturally a little bit more, which is great. So it's boosting your metabolism because that muscle is so metabolically active. So build that muscle. Do not forget strength training. All you cardio bunnies, you might want to ease up and get back to the weights. Number 3 is going to be eat protein. Protein increases our thermic effect of food very little, like 10%. But I mean, every little bit counts, and protein is so satiating, and especially good quality animal proteins are such a good source of nutrient-dense, bioavailable nutrients that we simply can't even get from plant proteins or just non-protein foods, like different carbs and fats. So even though it affects 10% or less, it's very small. Every little bit counts. Protein is just king here. Because it takes your body the most to break down protein. So don't forget your protein. And last but not least, and we'll get to this a little bit later in the month of January, we'll talk all about thyroid, because thyroid function is really important for your metabolism. So optimizing that may look different for you. Maybe it's just replenishing some nutrient deficiencies. Maybe it's taming down an autoimmune response to your thyroid if you have Hashimoto's. So optimizing thyroid is step 4, because the thyroid is a butterfly gland in your right here in the front of your neck, and it is the controller of your metabolism. So when you have hypothyroid or Hashimoto's, sluggish thyroid, then your metabolism is going to tank with it. Also, a lot of women will start to feel some weight gain and water retention because that can happen with hypothyroidism as well. So if weight loss is your goal, you want a good metabolism, definitely make sure that you are getting a full thyroid panel every year, more if you have issues, but don't just get TSH, which is what most doctors test for. So your doctor might be like, no, we tested thyroid, it's good. If it's TSH, no, that's not enough. You need a full thyroid panel to make sure and assess your thyroid correctly. So if you need some help with that, we can do those labs on our clients. We would be happy to chat more with you. In the description below, there is a link to book a free 15 call with me where I can get to know more about you, you get to know more about us, and we can kind of create a game plan for your next steps and helping you crush 2022 health goals. So I'll see you next week.